Good morning and welcome to Vietnam. Been waiting to do that for a little while. We've just landed here in Hanoi and we're waking up nice and early and getting our day going, hopefully getting some food into our stomachs soon because you know how much we love food. We want to see and take in all of the sights, or at least a good amount of the sights that Hanoi has to offer. So far from just even walking over here, it is definitely a bit on the chaotic side. Let's go find a breakfast spot, fill up our belly, and then go and explore the rest of Hanoi. We're gonna start off our day here in Hanoi by doing things right with a Vietnamese style breakfast. They are big into coffee, which we love. We learned that they have Banh for breakfast. Yeah, they're those baguette sandwiches that they load up with a whole host of stuff. Mostly pork is the traditional way of doing things, but they have beef. They even have vegetarian style options here at On Cafe. So we're really excited to check out a couple of different types of banh mi here for breakfast. We're hungry. Let's hope it's nice and good.
Love the taste of this tea, and I asked the gentleman here what this is because it really tastes like matcha a little bit green tea, but not really. And then he says it's called chai thai queen. It's actually feeling so refreshing and I really like it a lot.
Oh, nice little treat. Very fancy presentation, huh?
Yeah, it is really cool actually. But there's a lot of cream that I'm not really a fan of. This is banana and strawberry smoothie and it tastes really good.
Moment of truth time trying a Vietnamese coffee. I'm gonna try it without the condensed milk first because condensed milk is very thick and heavy and creamy, so. Wow, it's so strong. It gives you that like blast as soon as like the sip goes down your mouth. Honestly, I might not use all that much condensed milk in this one. It's really good even without it.
I love this presentation with these little kayaks, and of course this coffee also came with like this really cute cookie holder with a Vietnamese hat. Look at this, so cute. I'm gonna start trying the baguette, and mine is beef. They actually have potato fries, ketchup, mayo, beef, and some lettuce in it. This is a huge portion, and I feel like it could be shared by 2 people, but let's see. Oh my god, it's very flavorish. And of course the ketchup and mayo and the french fries inside of it kind of makes you feel like you're eating french fries with ketchup and mayo. And also the beef all together tastes really good together.
Okay, so mine is a bit different. It has egg inside of it and it's more traditional by having pork, of course, compared to beef, but you know, they make different options here, so that's a good thing for those who may not be inclined to eat pork or even beef. It's got a little bit of salty taste, a little bit of savory taste. Great way to start your morning. I like it.
We are super full and it was only $8 for the coffee, the smoothie, and 2 baguettes we had. The presentation was phenomenal, so definitely going to miss that. But right now we're gonna go continue exploring and adventure around these crazy streets. The motorbikes are a little scary, not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, we have a little bit of room now. It has been chaotic just even walking from one part of the Old Quarter to the other part of the Old Quarter. The motorbike culture here is even crazier than in Bali, crazier than in Thailand. It's something to behold. Sometimes crossing the street here in Hanoi is like a real life game of Frogger. We're gonna wait for the traffic to dissipate and get across the street to where we need to go.
I'm a little scared.
Gökçe's gonna hold on. Hang on, I'm gonna put this down. See it on the other side. Okay, so we made it all across the street, and this next stop is going to be a little bit of a somber stop because we are right outside of Hao Lo Prison, better known as the Hanoi Hilton for those who are familiar with American history. This had its start in the late 1800s under the French, and the French actually tortured Vietnamese revolutionaries here way back before the Vietnam War. And ultimately, once North Vietnam became communist, this is where they brought all the American prisoners and unfortunately became known as the Hanoi Hilton. A lot of famous American prisoners of war were held here, some up to 5 or 6 years even. And that's how it kind of got its name as kind of a sad joke, unfortunately. We're gonna go ahead inside. The building behind me that's remaining has been reopened now as a museum, so get to see a little bit of the history. We'll see if they let us film on this big camera or not. All right, so it was really cool to see the prison. They did have a really cool exhibit about the Vietnamese War and the American prisoners that were held there after having their plane shot down over northern Vietnam, and getting all of the soldiers back to the US after the fact and coming back to Vietnam then, you know, all those years later to repatriate any further remains. Thank you for coming with us, but now back to the rest of modern day Hanoi. All right, next up here in Hanoi is gonna be its famous Train Street. Not exactly sure of the street name here in Vietnamese, but it's loud, it's chaotic. We're gonna turn around this corner and get onto the train street. Really excited to check it out. Unfortunately, a lot of the street sellers try to stop you as you're entering the street in order to force you to sit down at one of their places. So be careful, because that's a bit of a scam here in Vietnam. So we made it onto the train street.
It's been an adventure. It's extremely crowded here, and getting here is a little bit
chaotic.
Yeah, they literally
just like the rest of the
physically stopped us, and all the tourists that who were trying to enter the street were physically enforced and stopped by the people
who work on the street, I guess you could say. This is crazy. They've set everybody right down next to the trains, and now they're screaming at everybody to get back because the train's coming through, and well, you shouldn't actually be that close to the tracks. That was
crazy. That was legitimately crazy. People were on top of each other, and the train took forever to go through because it was a very long train. And I feel like the people inside of the train were also filming us.
I know, that was insane. It's a passenger train. There's literally people on the train passing through the street.
That was great. That was amazing.
Do it. Just come to the street and be prepared, but it's worth it. It's wild. So quick pro tip for those coming, avoid the street sellers kind of forcing you to go to their specific location. The other side of the train street is protected by the military, so they aren't actually allowed to be there. There's a spot right behind this bus once it opens up called Toa Coffee. If you Google that and come to that spot here in Hanoi, you can come to the right side of the train street and enter through there, and then pick and choose your own places to where to sit. Don't make the same mistake we did.
We're at the old quarter of the city, and it is so nice with the music, with the scenery, with the architecture, of course. Since at the time French were living here, and of course they brought their architecture, so the buildings are actually really make you feel like you're in Europe. So it really feels like an Asian European place, and I very much like it. I feel like this is my favorite place so far, especially because there's no motorbikes anymore.
No honking, no motorbikes.
No honking, no motorbikes, exactly. So we're gonna go explore, and the music is getting louder and louder right this second. All right, let's go.
All right, so we found this pho place online and kind of did a little bit of our own research. A lot of good reviews, but we're doing our best to communicate in between English and Vietnamese, of course, making that connection, and hopefully we're gonna have some delicious beef pho.
Alright, we ordered the Vietnamese special soup, Pho Bo with the beef, and it seems like there's a lot of food here for us to dive into, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm gonna use a little bit red pepper. Just because I do doesn't mean that you should do the same thing. I'm a little crazy when it comes to the pepper. This is my first time trying it, so I'm not quite sure if I'm doing it right, but we'll see. The sweet lady of the shop actually came and showed us this as well, and she's like, add a little bit. I feel like now we have the soup in a proper way. All red, all sauce. This is how I like soup anyway, so I'm very excited to enjoy it more. Super spicy. I love it. This is how we like the soup, so no complaints on my end, but if you don't like spicy, this might be a little bit too much for you, so maybe you can skip the peppers and this red sauce.
That was some seriously delicious pho. So glad we found this place, and we can't recommend it enough. Put this link down in the description below. That food part of our Hanoi tour has concluded, but now that the sun has set, there are a few things left to do here in the evening in Hanoi, including a weekend night market that we're gonna quickly stop by before heading over to the fun part of Hanoi in the evening. Cheers and welcome to Hien Street here in Hanoi. This is the famous beer street that you can grab some really cheap local brews for $1 even or less, and just enjoy a crazy night out here in Hanoi. But it's definitely an interesting way to wrap up our night here in Hanoi. Gonna have a beer or two, and then I think call it an evening, because we definitely need to rest. It has been exhausting, but a fun day. Okay, we have made it back to our hotel. It has been an absolutely crazy, exciting, thrilling day. Don't even know the adjectives to really describe what Hanoi has truly been. It is the end of our time here in Hanoi though, so we are gonna leave you off here. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and we will see you in another part of Vietnam on our next video. Have a good evening.
There's so much to see here. Can't wait to explore more. But before then, we're gonna jump into the water because the weather's so nice.
Popped up for a quick breakfast this morning, and now it is time for activities. We have 3 stops along the way today, and we're gonna head off onto a smaller boat.
Oh my god, it looks so beautiful. Do you suggest this experience to our fellow travelers, Steve?
You have a partner who paddles with you, maybe.
He's so right, I'm sorry.
You know, the usual, just like an El Nido, doing all the work so Gökçe can enjoy.